Donald Trump talked about this on the campaign trail, that they were going to clean out the rot that is in the Department of Justice, in the FBI. And so this is the beginning of that process.
President Trump has come in, and within 12 days of coming into office, he's managed to stabilize an escalating situation, right? We've got a ceasefire now in Gaza. You've got a ceasefire in Lebanon. You've got hostages getting released.
The White House says 25% tariffs are going into effect today on goods coming into the U.S. from two of this country's biggest trading partners, Mexico and Canada.
My favorite word, tariff.
Now to this breaking news, President Trump just announced precision airstrikes in Somalia, marking his first military strikes of his second term in the White House. I want to read for you some of what he posted. He said, quote, "This morning I ordered precision military airstrikes on the senior ISIS attack planner and other terrorists he recruited and led in Somalia. These killers, who we found hiding in caves, threatened the United States and our allies. The strikes destroyed the caves they lived in and killed many terrorists without in any way harming civilians." Now, we also heard, Fred, from...
Nah, don't stop there, clown news. It was just getting good. We got to read the rest of this True Social post that President Trump put out, because he basically told ISIS, if you do, you know what? You gonna find out. And our military has targeted this ISIS attack planner for years, but Biden and his cronies wouldn't act quickly enough to get the job done. What a surprise. They weren't competent in any field. So why do we expect them to be competent here? But it's okay. Trump is back. We're going to get it done. He said, I did. The message to ISIS and all others who would attack Americans is that we will find you and we will kill you. That's what President Trump said. And praise the Lord, the swamp is getting flushed out. People are finally getting held accountable for their dirty deeds. And it's all thanks to God for placing President Trump back in charge in the Oval Office and surrounding him with common sense folks that actually execute for we the people instead of themselves. And we're seeing our republic being blessed and built back stronger than ever. I love it. Hallelujah. We need to keep praying for Trump, keep praying for this administration, that God blesses our nation, keep looking to Jesus Christ first and foremost above everything. That's where we need to put our trust at all times. But I'll let my man Byron Donalds break down some further details, and y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comment section. Let's get it poppin'.
Let's be very honest with the American people. It is without a doubt that the Department of Justice under Joe Biden was weaponized against Donald Trump and weaponized against conservatives. That is a fact. You can even look at the charges that went on to people who just were walking through the Capitol at January 6th, people who weren't even violent on January 6th, and they were supercharging those individuals to make a political point. Donald Trump talked about this on the campaign trail, that they were going to clean out the rot that is in the Department of Justice, in the FBI. And so this is the beginning of that process. At the end of the day, what we need are these institutions to not be a respecter of persons because of their political viewpoints or because of who they support, but that the only thing they are concerned about is equal justice under the law. If you look at the last 4 years of these institutions, that has simply not been the case, especially if you are a conservative or an America First supporter of Donald Trump in America. Those institutions have been weaponized against you. The president has a responsibility to clean them up, and this is the start of that process.
Okay, I'm going to accept for the purpose of this discussion what you've just said as being accurate. Let's assume that it's accurate. Why, if I'm an FBI agent and I was given an assignment, I never made the decision as to how I'd spend my time, I'm somewhere further down on the food chain, I'm given an assignment to go out and run down some lead relative to January 6th, my name now shows up on a list and I'm going to get fired because I was simply carrying out my responsibility? That doesn't seem right.
Well, I mean, look, the first thing that's happening is what's going on in the political brass. That's why Kash Patel going over to be the next FBI director is critically important, because the political brass is where, to your point, a lot of these decisions were made. Now, if you're a ranking file, there's going to be an additional process for that. But you got to start somewhere. If you're going to clean out any institution, you have to figure out where the rot begins and where it ends, and that has to be your scope. And that's not just about FBI. It's not just about the Department of Justice. That's what would happen at any institution institution if they were getting off of their core mission, and especially if they were not being responsive to the community or the customers that they serve. That is a simple proposition that would happen anywhere in America. It has not happened in the Department of Justice or FBI, which is one of the reasons why those institutions have been rotting and getting off of their core mission, especially over the last 4 years, but we can go as far back as the Obama administration.
Congressman, surely you recognize the chilling impact in all of this. Who in the world in the FBI, if this takes place, is going to be willing to investigate any malfeasance alleged within this administration? People are going to say, if I now pursue what is reported as someone breaking the law who works for this president, I'm going to lose my job.
No, that's simply not true, because there's a difference between you have actual evidence that would lead towards an investigation versus, and no pun intended, trumped up evidence, which is exactly what took place as far back as the Russia collusion scandal. They lied to the FISA courts knowingly to open up an investigation into President Trump's first presidential campaign. They lied to the FISA courts. They were using misinformation. They were letting laundered, doctored evidence into that situation. And we have all the proof for that. Then you have to deal with the fact that, yes, during this current presidential campaign, the Biden administration and the Department of Justice were either working with or allowing these indictments, which were silly. Everybody knew they were political, but they were allowed to continue. They brought in Jack Smith. They raided Mar-a-Lago. I mean, I can go on. You cannot allow our system of justice to be degraded to such a degree, basically for politics, and then let it stand. I hear you. So it's not a chilling effect.
Let me just
real quick, and I want to add this point. I would add, for the rank and file FBI agents who do their job every single day, they were shaking their heads too, saying, what the hell is going on? We need this place to be cleaned up. So I would say for those agents, they would welcome this.
Just so you know, I myself have been plenty critical of Merrick Garland and Jack Smith and this whole process over several years. I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about a woman, a man in the D.C. field office who played no policy role, was given an assignment to go out and conduct an investigation, whose name now shows up on a list. It sounds awfully McCarthy-like, and they might lose their job. But I want to ask you about something else. The president now is going to impose tariffs on Mexico and on Canada and on China. The Wall Street Journal, not exactly a left-wing oracle, put up on the screen. Here's their lead editorial. They say if this takes place, this will be the dumbest trade war ever. Aren't we going to bear the cost for whatever tariffs he's imposing on them? And won't it be tit for tat, where they respond in kind on orange juice or bourbon, which is what the Canadians did the last time?
Well, I will tell you that the cost of the American people for rampant illegal immigration and for the illicit drug trade that has started with precursor materials in China to fentanyl being put together south of our border in Mexico and then trafficked into the United States, those costs have been significantly more damaging to the American people than this proposed possible trade war. At the end of the day, what President Trump is doing is that he wants China and Mexico and Canada to take our national security interests just as seriously as they take theirs. And when it comes to fentanyl, let's be very clear. The precursor material is from China. The tablets are assembled in Mexico. They come into the United States, and they are the #1 killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. So Donald Trump told everybody on the campaign trail he's going to use every tool available to secure this nation, and this is a part of it.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. If you like what I'm doing over here and you want to show a little extra love and support, make sure you go check out our website down below in the description section. That way you can get all the awesome shirts and hoodies you see me wearing in every single video, as well as some pretty sweet tumblers and cups. They're all made by my smoking hot wife with tons of different designs to choose from. I like my clothes baggy in the winter, so you got a little extra room to move and groove. That's just what feels gooder than chicken to me, but we got all different sizes, ranging ranging from itty bitty extra small to big and hefty 5X, a bunch of colors. I guarantee we got something that you'll like, or at least a great gift for someone that you love. Outside of that, you can always show support by buying me a coffee, joining the Patreon community. You can become a member of the Gibson family here on YouTube by tapping that join button. All those links are always down below in the description section. By no means do you have to do any of that. Just showing up and watching my freckle face on your screens for a few minutes, I am greatly appreciative. I love y'all, and I cannot thank you enough for rocking with me throughout the years. I think I posted my first video on this channel 7-8 years ago, and you have literally changed my life, my family's life for the better. I just can't put into context how grateful I am for y'all. And I know we get into some tangents and some long rants sometimes, and I get fired up. That's how I like it, and that's how y'all seem to like it as well. But just thank you from the bottom of my heart. But until next time, I'll be praying for you. Godspeed. I'm gone.